What's up, it's Liam, and today I'm taking a look at the Riptide board. It's a smaller electric skateboard. Really excited to take a look at it. FatDaddy was so kind to send this out to me for review. I have to send it back afterwards, but right now I have some time to play with it. So let's get this unboxed and see what it's all about.
Inside your bedroom, we stop counting the days lost in the rhythm.
There's another box.
Physical silence, no need to speak a word.
Alright, let's get this second box unboxed.
Play beside me.
Let's see what we got. Look at this. FatDaddy send over some stickers. I really should use more stickers because I still have like, I don't know, 20 of those skateboard stickers. If you want a sticker from the FatDaddy electric skateboard shop, just hit me up or something, I don't know. And if you want to buy an electric skateboard, just check the link in the description. I'll put the link to the FatDaddy electric skateboard shop in there. I think they're like one of the biggest electric skateboard retailers in Europe, so. Also got a t-shirt. Alright, let's see, let's take a look at the board. First unveiling. There you go. Looks pretty neat. Also got some ionic flux thing. I think this is to clean or like to put on your bearings. And then they roll better or something, yeah. Alright, let's see what else is in the box. First of all, of course, the board. Right over here, it looks pretty good. Get that off. So we have a dual belt drive over here, kind of similar to a boosted board. As I've seen from the website, I believe it's like 1800 watts for each motor. The top speed should be around 18 or 20 miles per hour, depending on the model you get. I think there's an R1 and R1 Elite. The battery and the ESC are all in this little thing. And weight-wise, it's not too bad. I think it's like, yeah, 7 kilos or something, probably not much more than that. We have a charging port on the side there and a power button and battery indicator on the other side. These wheels are 83mm 78As, so they're slightly bigger than your standard orangutan Kegel wheel, but slightly smaller than the wheels that come on the new boosted board, because the new boosted boards have a 5mm wheels. Furthermore, these trucks are, I believe, just generic replica trucks. I don't think they're branded or anything. These wheels are also just generic wheels, by the way. Also no brand, just Riptide. I'm guessing they're coming from like probably a Chinese factory or something. But I mean, that's fine. Like there's a lot of boards to do that because getting branded wheels is pretty expensive, and it will drive up the cost of this board, because this board costs about 599 euros new, which is relatively cheap when you compare it to like a boosted board or an Evolve. I also want to point out that I did get this board for free for review. I do have to send it back, but all my opinions are my own and I haven't been paid to make this review or anything. Alright, let's see what else is in the box. Alright, this is the only other thing in the box. It's just another smaller box, probably with like some accessories. First of all, owner's manual. Always read this, of course. You know, just, I don't know, just flick through it or something. I mean, I know how to ride an electric skateboard, so I'm just gonna skip this for now. But if you're a first time rider, probably pretty good to read that. We have a black skate tool, always handy to have. Another little Riptide sticker. The charging brick, I believe it's like a 1.5 or 2 amp hour charging brick. Yeah, it's 2 amps. What else? We have a pair of spare belts, always handy when they rip. They're pretty thick though, so that's good. We have a little bag of bearings, so if you need to replace your bearings, you can just use the ones that come in the box. That's very nice. A cable for your remote. I think it's just micro USB. You can use any micro USB cable, but you know, there's one that comes with the box, so that's nice. And lastly, there's the remote. I've had this remote before. The Meepo version 1 came with this remote. I think they've changed that right now, but yeah, I guess the Riptide still comes with this remote. It's pretty comfortable in my opinion, although that the throttle is a little short when I used it, but that's a long time ago now, so maybe it has improved since then. Alright, and that's it. That's all that's in the box. So I think now it's time to charge the board, charge the remote, and go for a ride.
back, I know not tonight. Pulling me back, I know not tonight. Pulling me back, I know not tonight. It feels like I can't hold on.
Alright, I'm about to take the maiden voyage on the Riptide. I'm currently in the beginner mode just to get used to the controller and to the board. Every board is different, of course. I also checked the bushings and the trucks and they're relatively good for my weight, I think. We'll see. Okay, here we go. First time riding. I'm going like 5 kilometers an hour. I don't know how fast this is. I think it's like 10 or something. 10 kilometers an hour, something like that. It's very slow, but that's good to just try it out. But yeah, it's very nimble because it's such a small board. The turning radius is very, very short. Whereas like when you ride a boosted board, it's so much harder to take sharp turns. But with this, I can already feel it's a lot more nimble. All right, that's Jesus. Alright, so as you just saw, even though I was going really slow, I basically got thrown off my board because the brakes are very harsh, so beware of that. Also, something I want to mention is that there's a slight dead zone in the trigger when you're trying to accelerate. So like this part doesn't do anything and then suddenly it kicks in. So the controller, as I remember from the Meepo version 1, it's still a little finicky in my opinion. And I think it'll always be a little finicky with this kind of remote. So yeah, in a way this is good for beginners because it's cheap, but it's also not good because it's slightly harder to control than something like a boosted board. I'm just gonna switch to the medium mode right now. But interestingly enough, I just lost connection. I don't know if the board turned off or when I went over the bumps like a little bit harder than usual, just like slightly harder, it just disconnects and turns off. So yeah, that's not good. Or I'm gonna try one more thing. I'm gonna leave it on the most powerful mode, see maybe if that resolves the issue. But yeah, if it continues to be an issue, I can't really continue riding this. Okay, I've done a little bit of testing on the fastest mode and it appears that the issue is gone. Also, the brakes on fast mode appear to be less abrupt in my opinion. They're still slightly abrupt and also the acceleration curve is relatively strong, so you really have to prepare when accelerating as well as when you're braking. You really have to prepare yourself for the brakes, otherwise you'll be thrown off. Same with accelerating. One nice thing, of course, is it's the same thing with the boosted mini, is that the kicktail allows you to kind of tic-tac a little bit. It may be a little bit difficult at first because you have the added weight of the battery and stuff, and I'm not really that good at it. But yeah, this can be nice if you need to take like a really sharp turn or something. Alright, now that's out of the way, let's do a speed test. I'm gonna use my phone to see how fast I'm going. I'm not gonna carry the camera because that's just dangerous in my opinion. I'm just gonna put it somewhere. Yeah, let's see how fast this thing can go. Alright, first run I was able to hit 32 kilometers an hour as told by my phone. Okay, so I guess that kind of confirms it. I've done a few more runs and 32 is the fastest I'm going. Keep in mind I'm only 50 kilos, so if you weigh a little more you may get like 30 kilometers an hour, but it's pretty much advertised speed because I believe it was 20 miles per hour advertised and that's about 32 kilometers per hour. I also think it was pretty stable at the top speed, even though it's like a shorter board. I didn't have any issues with speed wobble or anything, so I don't think you should be worried about that. Of course, you have to always be careful when going over rough terrain, but on this flat stretch it's really no issue. Comfort wise, I also want to say that these 83mm wheels are pretty comfortable. This has mostly to do with that it's not a hub motor, I believe, because if this were a hub motor there would be a lot less urethane, so a lot less shock absorbent stuff in between you and the board. Of course, this board doesn't have any flex or anything, so don't expect the same riding comfort as you get from a boosted board. But for a short board, I think it's really comfortable, and probably comparable to the boosted Mini S or X. So it's been a while since I first started testing the Riptide, and when I was recording yesterday with a friend of mine, we didn't have the issue anymore. So I guess it magically fixed itself after reaching out to Riptide and trying to fix the issue. So I've decided to just do the range test now, as it has been working pretty well so far, as I've been riding a little bit more throughout the days. So yeah, let's hope this goes well. I've got a pretty large route plan of like 10 kilometers, and we'll see how far we get. Also, just for your information, I'm currently using the Sports Tracker app to track my distance and speed and stuff like that. So yeah, this way I'll get a pretty clear picture of how far I've gone. So I've currently gone 6.4 kilometers and my board battery says 75% basically. I've been going relatively slow though because of traffic, so I'm hoping to get a little more speed now I'm out of the traffic. But yeah, I mean, if it keeps going like this, we'll get a pretty big range on this board. So quick little update here. I'm about down to 1 bar on both the controller and the board, so that would be what, like 25%, and I've gone 15.7 kilometers. So yeah, that's a lot further than I expected it to be. So I'm gonna keep going until the battery is dead, and then I'm gonna update you guys on the range. I also want to say that I'm pretty sure the board is a little slower than it was at the start, but that's of course to be expected from any board really when it comes down to like 20 or 10%. But yeah, I can feel it, but it's not as bad I think as some other Chinese boards. Oh wow, that's, oh yeesh, that is limping home. Oh boy. Alright, I'm not sure if you can hear that, but the board just started beeping and the controller is just flickering like this. I can still brake even with the battery basically dead. So I've gone almost 17 kilometers, which is definitely not bad. My average speed was 18.5 kilometers per hour. That's a pretty decent cruising speed if you ask me, especially on a board that's short like this one. So yeah, I think that's really good when it comes to range. So what is the conclusion on the Riptide R1? Apart from the issues I had, it actually performed pretty well. Top speed wise, it went 32 kilometers per hour, so that's right about where it should be according to the specs on the website. Range wise, I really think it outperformed the expectations because I was able to get around 16-17 kilometers on it. Granted, I wasn't going full speed at all times or anything like that, but on a board like this, you're not really inclined to do that. It's more of a city cruiser anyways. That kind of brings me to ride comfort. It is relatively comfortable, the wheels are quite nice for slightly rougher roads, but you'll definitely feel it because of the hard deck. What I can say is that I think it's more comfortable than a hub motor board because you simply have more urethane on it than when you have something like an own board or a Meeple board. Of course, the flex in those boards can kind of help mitigate that issue a little bit, But in the end, these wheels really help with riding on rougher terrain. So who is this board really for? Well, if you live in a city and you need to take a lot of public transport, such as subway, bus or tram, then the Riptide really is pretty practical. When you compare it to a boosted board, it is less comfortable, of course, it's shorter and it's stiffer, but when getting in and out of public transport or restaurants, cafes, whatever you do in the city, then a boosted board gets quite unpractical sometimes. This is simply due to the size of the boosted board, and if you compare it to the size of this, then you can already imagine that this would be a lot more practical to take in and out of places. Alright, that's it for this review. If you want to buy this board, do check the links in the description. That's it for now, and I'll see you guys in the next one.